You're listening to Truly Unruly with Marcus and Jessica Trufant.
Welcome back to another week of Truly Unruly with Marcus and Jessica Trufant. My name is Kel. Trufants, how are you guys doing?
Doing well, sir.
Doing
well.
How about you?
Doing okay, doing good. I'm excited about today's topic.
Mm-hmm.
It is, you guys ready for it? Well, we can get straight to it. Fuck it, right?
Head first. Let's go.
All right.
That's what she said.
Shh.
Why can't you find and keep a man?
Kel.
Okay. Are we throwing out any disclaimers and say
I was going to say, everybody's going to hate us
this
and come
could
for us.
carry over to women as well, or men as well, why a man can't keep a woman, or is that not really a thing? Or we're just talking about this today. It's fair to just keep it on this side.
It's just vice versa.
Today.
And once again, it's not blanket statements. It's facts.
But yeah, let's jump into it.
Well, yeah, but the title was, why can't you find and keep a man?
Okay.
I mean, if we really get down to it, you hear more women talk about that than men. You don't hear men say, well, man, I just can't find a good woman. I mean, you might hear it, but you hear
That's
more of that
because you
coming from
guys
women.
have... Never mind.
What do we got?
I'm going to get in trouble. I'm going to get in trouble.
What do we have? Are we simple? Are we small-minded?
Absolutely. Yep. You guys have said it yourselves that you guys are very simplistic and very, very simple. So it is girl.
All right.
That's it.
I'm excited to hear some of the facts.
Kind of like why men won't marry women, all that kind of, it's just, you guys are.
Well, here's a question that I should just ask just both of you first. Jess, how often in your life have you heard women or friends of yours, colleagues of yours, whoever say, well, damn, girl, I just can't find a good man, or I just can't keep a good man? Like, do you hear it more often than you don't?
I don't hear it as often, but I have heard it. I do hear it because at this point in my journey of life, most of my friends are in relationships or married. So I do not hear it as often, but I still do hear it.
You hear it all the time.
You hear it all the time?
Yes. Growing up, it's a theme, not so much in my inner circles, but
I'm talking about my inner circle.
I know. Well, I'm just talking about in general, right? You hear it at the church as women. I'm praying for a good man, and
well, we already know right there.
And you know, I'm working on myself. I'm doing this, and be patient, et cetera, et cetera. Maybe I'm single and it's tough out here. This is from the woman's perspective of what you might hear, right? I'm single. There's no good guys out here. Guys is on that BS.
Is he
blah, blah, blah.
I did not know you knew the women's perspective. That like, God,
got my ear to the street.
God damn.
I'm not involved, but I mean,
wow.
I got ears. So
I guess you do have your ear to the street. My God. Like like the woman whisper. What the fuck? Like,
I'm making light of it, but it is a theme that we do here, right? There is no good men out there, and where's all the good men's is it at, right? So I'm not sure why that's a thing. There is a lot of guys that are on that foolishness, right? But there's a lot of good guys out here too.
There are a lot of good guys. I don't think they're necessarily in Seattle anymore.
I got to go to Tacoma. I had to find a good guy.
Okay, so they're not necessarily in Washington anymore, but I mean, you can find him. I feel like I got the last good guy, and
Amen.
He wasn't even that good in the beginning. So I feel like
God brought you a good one. And you was patient, and you was good and patient. And good on you, sister. High five.
I was not on my knees praying for a dude.
Not in the physical, but subconsciously, you was like, I really just need something.
Really? You're finished.
And then, so shall you thinketh, so shall you got or get.
Okay, Cal.
Do you think some? I was like, my man was on one right there, so I was like, do his thing. In the words of the late Kevin Samuels, oof, I know that's a trigger saying that name, but I remember one time him saying to a young lady that the reason why you can't find a good man is because you may need to like bring it down some. So like her expectations of what it is that she wants, this idea is just like it's way out here, and it's like, well, why don't you bring it here some, bring it down to reality some, and maybe you'll find that good dude.
Okay. Well, first, R.I.P. to Kevin Samuels, and second, I mean, he was definitely like the pocket's right here and he was over there. So he was out of pocket a lot of the time. But he does have a point, because I've said that before. You need to just, it's not even lower your standards. It's just kind of shift the way you view what you want in a man or something like that. You got to shift you just got to shift a bit. And I think especially women that are my age now, 25, you're kind of set in your ways. And so I think it makes it even harder to find a man, because you're just not willing to budge. And I think you have to be willing to give a little compromise to find your perfect man, because really, honestly, there is no perfect man or a perfect woman. So
that's very true.
Very true. I would say that in a relationship, like we've talked about many a time, everything's a compromise. So you don't want to lower standards, like you said, but there is some things that have to be hard nosed, or things that you're not going to stand for. But a lot of things can be communicated and worked on in order to find a common ground. So, yeah, it's tough out here.
And once again, I feel like you got to check yourself at some point. If you are, every guy is like no good and a piece of shit and all this kind of stuff, at some point you have to kind of go internal and go, okay, what is going on with me? Why do I feel this way? You have a good guy and you let this guy go. It's you at some point.
Right. Like our friend of the show, Miss Sexologist Tiffany.
Hey, Tiff.
She talks about, is it you, sis? I know she does different table talks and programs, etc. So sometimes you got to check yourself. And as I'm talking about that goes for both men and women that are looking for love and new relationships.
Right.
I found a really good quote here that said, one of the reasons why you cannot find a man is because you haven't taken care of your own baggage. You have not released the stuff you've been carrying around for years and years, as well as from relationship to relationship. You haven't taken the time to stop dating, evaluate why you broke up with your partners previously, and figure out what you can improve on to make you a better person and a better dater. So kind of like what you said, Jess, just internally kind of like, all right, like, what am I carrying?
Yep.
What am I bringing into each of these relationships that is essentially being kind of self-destructive, right?
Right. Yeah. It's like you're pointing the finger, but you have 3 fingers pointing back at yourself. So you really got to reevaluate some things and really just, I don't know, but I think a lot of people just don't even realize it, Mm-hmm. And it's unfortunate, but it is real.
If we're being honest, and honesty is the best policy, is kind of playing the numbers game for a woman and just finding that gentleman that could put up with them, right? And what they bring to the table. Different guys have different temperaments and
put up with them. Put up.
Different ways of looking at things, or just being able to handle what they bring to the table, even if they have baggage. There's different guys that are patient in certain areas, and there's other guys that aren't. So sometimes it can be, kind of trial and error, right?
Right. Right.
That's hard though to deal with someone else's baggage though. Especially when like you're from the outside looking in and you like see it from this other point of view that they don't necessarily see it from, and you try to like bring it to their attention and they're like, well, fuck you. And it's like, all right, obviously you haven't reached that point of like self-realization, I guess. Like that's hard. And like people that do stay through that to hope and pray that it gets through the other side. I mean, bless their hearts, but I mean,
there are people out there.
I don't know. You can't ask everybody to do that.
I guess it was the wrong term to say put up with, but more
you think?
accept and be willing to work through that with them. That's a little bit better, right? And I think that's real. I think that's a real thing. People, just like you said, there's no perfect spouse or girlfriend, right? So or a boyfriend. So you want to be able to get to a point where you love over 50% of what they bring to the table, right?
You got to see the potential.
You see the potential. And some of that other stuff, okay, it's a little rough and I'm really not all the way 100% bought into that, but I'm willing to deal with that and we're going to work through that together.
Right. It's like a diamond in the rough. You're like, okay, all I have to do is polish it. But if you spend some time polishing it and it is still fucked up, well, okay, then get the fuck on, right? Back to the drawing board. But I don't know. And I think even women that are really career driven and successful, they want somebody, or they dream, or, of having somebody close to that level. And if they don't meet those standards or above what they are at that point, they're like, I don't want it. I don't want it. And really I don't know. It really is not. It's just not about the material things all of the time. And I think that's what we've all become caught up in, because that's just what it's about in general. What you have, what you can bring to the table, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I think you should have a good credit score, I'm just saying. But there's more to it than that. There's more to men than that, especially when, like I said, when you're a successful woman and you want there's just more to it. And women that aren't even successful, they want the man that's this, that, whatever. Guess what? That doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be happy. So
is it happiness first or is it business first?
Both.
When you're in that position to where you're really courting and when you're really looking, and you're in most cases a little bit older, right? And you're trying to get things figured out.
Oh, well, it's definitely business first at that. Well, no, it just depends. I think at our age, it's still a little bit of business and happiness. I think maybe if you're 5 to 10 years older, it is all happiness. I think if you're a little bit younger, it's probably business. Don't quote me. I'm just saying.
I don't know, man. I feel like the majority of people marry for security. I mean,
Yes.
Love is involved, but like you marry for security. And that goes both ways, like that could be financial security. That can be, I have a really great woman that I know that she's going to be a great mother to my kids. So I don't have to ever worry about like my kids, being with a psychopath
Really?
or something like that. There's certain types of security I feel like that just comes with marriage, and that's why people do it.
So, like in initial dating, right? You're like, I think this woman, she gonna be a good woman to take care of my kids. Let me marry her.
It has to factor
that it?
in. No, but not out the gate, right?
I'm like, shit. Are you guys really thinking like that?
And in
But
my
if you're looking for that, like,
yeah, if you're looking for that,
you're
though,
looking
yeah,
for that,
but
right.
The first part of dating, I don't think a lot of that is the leading.
What are you looking for when you first date a woman?
How she walk.
Why you say it like that? How she walk?
And is she walking right?
Sorry, Marcus. How you said that sounded so country.
Is she talking right? Nah, I mean, a lot of stuff can be attractive to men, of course. We see the physical, but
You guys are, yeah, it's really physical. And for women, I think it's more.
But that can change quick, though, from when a young lady
like a mental,
opens her mouth and how she talks and carries herself. And I'm just speaking for myself, right? Yeah, you could be attracted to the physical, but other factors can turn you off pretty quick.
You'll still hit that and be in a relationship.
But that doesn't mean you're
you absolutely
involved
will still hit that.
like that.
You'll pretend.
Yeah, you'll pretend to get what you want, but I'm saying we're talking about marriage and finding a good man and taking it to the next level, right? Not just the dating phase or the courting phase or whatever. So if it wants to go to the next level, there has to be some other things that come with the physical.
Okay. You're right.
Can we be honest here for a second? I have a question.
Infatuation.
How honest,
really,
Kel?
I just have a question. Like, so you mean to tell me, you guys, there's never been a time in your life that you went on a date with somebody, right? Might have been with each other. Hell, look at you now. You're married and have kids, right? But went on a date, went on a couple dates, and you get to know them. You're learning about their personality, their goals, all that, their morals and standards, and you're like, wow, like, this girl, like she has a good head on her. I can tell she's probably gonna be a great mom. Like, that's dope. Like, you don't ever, like, that never crossed your mind ever, or even as a woman would be like, damn, like, he got his shit together. He's a good dude. Like, I could tell he'd make a great father. He's a leader. Like, y'all don't, that's never went through y'all minds at all ever when, like, dating somebody and getting to know someone ever?
Okay. Well, in my defense, I didn't date a lot of people, so I really wouldn't know. I didn't date somebody and be like, oh, he could be the father of my kids. No, it didn't.
But see,
or
the potential,
just he's got
Jess.
a good head on his shoulders. This is hard. The people that wanted to date me, they wasn't about having a good head on their shoulders.
I'll give you an honest response.
It was about having a good head.
I'll give you an honest response. There are people that maybe you don't say that, okay, this person is going to be a good father or mother, but there's a such thing as, okay, I'm really enjoying myself with this person. I would like to see where this can go, and maybe I would like to get this to the next level, right? I think when you skip steps and you do stuff like that, you can get yourself into trouble.
Right.
You start thinking a long ways down the road, but it's like, okay, yeah, this chick or this dude, they're cool.
Right.
I could spend some time with them. I would like to spend more time with them. I usually don't do that, but okay, maybe if you want to stay the night, or you want to hang out, maybe we could get breakfast in the morning instead of just...
Maybe if you want to stay the night. What the fuck? That's not...
Late movie. See, you guys is already in the gutter. Late movie. I want to make sure you get home safe. Yeah, you could go to the guest room. I'm going to be over here type of thing. And then, and I said I was being honest.
Right, that sounds like... that sounds familiar.
But things like that do happen. But again... skipping steps, I think, could set you up for a big letdown.
Right. And I think to your point, bringing it back to like a personal kind of, I don't want to call it an issue, but just kind of a personal thing, like just kind of relaxing, letting your guard down, and like letting go of trying to control the situation, because a lot of it is trying to, you want to control things. You want to control how your dude is. You want to control the interaction. You want to control, I don't know, just kind of relaxing and just going with the flow.
Right.
And not being so uptight, so controlling, so rigid, and what you want and all that. You got to relax. You got to let shit go.
How did our first date go? at the.
I controlled it.
All right. I didn't have the potential. I didn't have the right stuff.
I didn't say you didn't have the potential.
Our first date.
I was just like, it was just a lot. It wasn't typical. It's not typical. You're going on a date with a professional athlete, which I didn't even think of you like that.
Right. So what is that?
But in hindsight, when I think about it, right? And maybe that was in my subconscious. I'm going on a date with a professional athlete, blah, blah, blah. And I saw your potential though.
That's fair. I'll take potential.
I did. I saw his potential. And just the very first date, I think I was uncomfortable and I didn't have control, right? And so I'm like, I'm going to take control. I want to go home. I have homework.
She hit me with
a big project to do. I'm like, So, but if I would have kept going that way, and well, if I just would have, I don't know. Did you still were persistent, right? Did I spend the night at your house after that or before that? That was before. But anyways, I had to not lower my standards, but I just kind of had to let go. And my thing is control. And I had to let go and allow things to happen and allow him to be who he is and to show me, God damn it, this sounds bad because then the next breath I'm like, oh, he was fucking hella girls and stuff. But anyways.
Allegedly. Allegedly.
But I still saw him. I don't know. I just saw him, and after I blew him off and then we had our second date, it was like a vibe. It was like we just talked for hours and hours and hours, and I was like, oh shit, I do like this guy.
See, that goes back to my first point
And
though, about being genuine, of like looking at that person of like, wow, like I really enjoyed my time. I get what you meant, Marcus, earlier about skipping steps, but what I'm saying more as is like just seeing how genuine a person is. They let their guard down. You're like, wow, this is a genuinely good person. I see that they actually have good values. Like, I see the potential in this person. I can see the potential of where this person or this might be able to go. I'm not gonna jump to conclusions, but like, so.
Right. And that's why you got to give people a chance, because people like to date people that have similar, likes and religious backgrounds, like all that kind of stuff. People are attracted to that. So you just got to sit back and really allow people to be themselves. And
one quick thing is though, for people that are dating now or are looking for that lifetime love, they in a lot of situations have been through traumatic dating experience, right? So you're talking about letting your guard down, Kel. That can be easier said than done, right? Okay, I did that a couple times and I'm still here now, man. I'm still in the game.
Right.
I'm still trying to find that right person. So I'm a bit guarded when it comes to, so I got to put guys through the ringer. I got this checklist, and if you don't
meet the criteria,
check these boxes, then I'm scared, right? So
no,
what do you do
they're
there?
not even scared. They're just like nose turned up.
Well, scared or nose toned up, but that's I guess a reaction of fear or whatever you want to call it.
It's a personal thing, and that's when you need to go take a step back, dive deep down, have somebody tell you, maybe have your homegirl tell you maybe it's you, give you some food for thought.
It's gray. It's a lot of gray area, sister. It's a lot of gray right there.
I think some people are just a shitty judge of character too, though. Like, come on, man. Like, you can see the red flags when someone's too good to be true, or if someone's just a piece of shit, in my opinion. I don't know.
And some people thrive on pieces of shit. We've already went over this before. So your standards, you're like, I have a good guy sitting right here, but there's just something about, he's not dogging me the fuck out. So I'm going to let him go, and I'm going to go with Fido over here. And
if it ain't drama and a bunch of crazy,
right.
A lot of people don't like that, and that's weird to think of, but that's a real thing. So yeah.
All right. Well, the second quote I have here is this. Is like the second. It was like it goes. The second reason why you cannot find or keep a man is due to you consistently blaming and pointing the finger at your partner or ex. It's always someone else's fault. It's never your fault.
Naturally.
Jesus Christ.
What do you mean? And naturally, what do you?
I'm just saying, who wants to be like, you know what? It's me. It's my fault. Nobody. Nobody.
Doing the hard stuff is though it what shows that person that you want to date that I'm a real person.
Right.
For one,
It shows maturity. It shows all that kind of stuff.
Shows maturity, and you should be able to do that as a seasoned adult.
Right.
Right.
But once again, it takes it back to it's your personal issue.
Yeah.
And you're the guy you're dating, or they don't know that. And it's like, red flag. This bitch is crazy.
Yeah. Well, we have another point here, another great quote. Here's the third reason why you haven't found a man yet, or your ass can't keep one, is because you don't have tough skin. Each time something doesn't go your way, you start pouting. Every time he tells you no, you start pouting. Each time he wants to go out and do his own thing, meaning his me time, you pout. Mm-hmm. Anytime he corrects or points out something that you're doing wrong, for example, the way you speak to him, you take it personally and you pout.
I guess I don't have tough skin.
Does she pout, Marcus?
Are you a pouter? I wouldn't say she's a pouter.
I say
but
tread lightly.
She is what would I say? A wild animal that's backed up against the wall or put into a corner. If you come at her, that's like when the fangs and stuff come out. But she is able to talk herself down, right? And kind of
Sometimes.
think about it in most situations.
Like
right?
I told my friends, and it's part of the way I had to be. It's fight or flight for me. And so if you're coming at me or you're doing this, I'm just going to seize up and then I'm going to attack you. So it's, but
even when you're in the wrong though, right?
Right. And so wrong, I meant. But no, sometimes I will, but then I'm able to reflect and kind of come back and be like, you know what, that's fucked up. Or I might not even tell you that it's fucked up, but I might tell somebody else that I was fucked up, right?
Terrible.
But yeah, but it's just kind of the way I had to be. And I literally just went over this on Saturday. It's like fight or flight for me. So
I think as long as you can talk yourself down, you can come back around and have a conversation. Emotion and high, what would I call it? Intense conversation or argument or whatever is one thing, but to be able to come back, especially with someone that you're vibing with, someone that you like, someone that you're in love with, someone that you're married to, dating. If you really want to be with that person and you're putting your full self out there.
Did you call me a wild animal?
When you can get into that mood, it can be undomesticated.
10 things that trigger divorce.
So
calling your spouse a wild animal.
Resembling traits of a wild animal, but not officially.
Resembling traits of a wild animal? Fuck,
something like
Marcus.
But like I said, with all that
is fucked
we're
up.
able to bring it back and have a real conversation because the foundation is there and we both want the same thing. We both want to be on good terms. We both want to communicate. We both want to know what each other is looking for, what we need, right?
Right. And when we're like mad, if we can't have fun together if we're mad at each other.
Right.
So,
and it's us against the kids, so we got to ride together.
Right.
So
we have to stick together. Wild animal and civilized human, we've got to stick together.
All right. To wrap this up, what piece of advice would you both give to someone that's listening to this that is dealing with the issue of not being able to keep a relationship or keep a partner?
Please look internally. I know it's hard to it's like, no, it's your fault. But sometimes it's not. And not saying that, you're necessarily a bad person or you're not right, but literally just you got to kind of go back and, like you said, Kel, before, think about your past relationships and the breakups and what has happened, even how you were raised, all that kind of stuff, your family history. You got to really take all of that into consideration. I know that's hard to do, but yes, because I don't believe that there's somebody for everybody, like people say. Really? But I think you're missing a lot of opportunities. Not opportunities. Guy isn't necessarily up. I think, I think you're missing a lot of potential opportunities, potential future mates by just really not taking a look internally and working on that.
I'd say, I know we talked about looking back into your relationships, but I think a lot of it is not letting those bad experiences taint or put a black eye on everything that you do moving forward, right? Try to give things a real chance, a real opportunity. Easier said than done, especially if you got scars and you've been through a lot of traumatic stuff, but everyone's not the same. The only person you can control, the only person you can change things about is yourself. So just like you said, look internally, but give things a real chance and try not to be overly guarded if possible.
Right.
Easier said than done, though.
Right.
But
And just like you said, everybody's not the same, because you might have had a bad experience and then you go out with one guy and you see a glimpse of a flashback and you're like, oh, hell no. But give it some time. Like it's a diamond. If you polish that shit and it's still fucked up after a while, let it go. Move on.
That's
Fresh
deep.
slate.
That could go on like a card or something, right?
Hallmark, call me. All right.
Well said. Even though Jess is cold, she said, I don't think there's somebody for everybody. That's
a fucking lie.
Some people are meant to be just by themselves for the rest of their lives. And fucking
not like that. And I think some people are content that way. I mean, we've, been brought up like there's somebody for everyone. Fuck that shit. That's a lie.
Glass half full.
How many people are on this planet, though?
Okay, so then you settle?
Sometimes.
Or where you got to go? To Europe to find somebody? What, you got to go to Africa to find somebody? Like, yeah, there's a lot of people on the planet, but right here in Washington?
Man, hey, listen. I was looking at our stats and people that listen to us. By the way, shout out to all the people in Frankfurt, Germany that listen to us.
Word.
And Zimbabwe.
Okay.
Because we got a lot of listeners in Zimbabwe, Nigeria, and Kenya.
Wow.
So, yeah, there's people out here that listen to us that are outside of Washington.
That's beautiful.
You feel me?
That's beautiful.
That, want to find love, Jess.
Okay, well, come on over. Shit. I don't know.
Word. Truly Unruly, Marcus Trufant, Jessica Trufant. My name is Kel. If you like the podcast, please, y'all, subscribe, leave a review so you never miss an episode. Of course, you can catch us every Sunday on Converge. When this airs, it will be the Emmy Award-winning Converge. Congratulations. And also, if you want to catch the visual of the podcast, just search Marcus Trufant on YouTube or search Truly Unruly. Of course, follow Marcus_Trufant on Instagram and follow Jessica_Trufant on Instagram. Jess has made her comeback.
I have.
And of course, follow the page Truly Unruly _podcast. I miss anything, y'all?
That's it, brother.
No. All of those, you can find Marcus Trufant. It sounds like I'm of Marcus.
Handmaid's Tale for those who don't.
We out. They know where to
Peace
find
out.
it.